So we're going to be importing some visual arts templates into our Canvas course in order to modify and update modules that we already have in Canvas to be used for the 2020-2021 school year. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to the Commons, and I'm going to search Bears. And here are the visual arts secondary templates. And these are going to be used as a landing page for our Canvas module unit, then specific lesson pages, the upload assignment page, question and answers, as well as a semester plan if we want to use that as kind of a course sequence. So we're going to import those. You'll choose what course you'd like to import them into. It's not going to affect anything that already exists in those. You'd probably do this after you've maybe imported all of your Canvas content from last year's Canvas courses. So I'll select the ones I want, and then I will import those. So I've gone ahead and done that. I'm actually working in a sandbox, but you could do this in your Art 1 or Photo Canvas course. So here are those templates again. And I'm going to leave them and just duplicate them as I go so I always know where they are. So I'm going to duplicate that. And then this is the module that I'm going to be working with. So this was a portrait collage module that I did in the spring. I also modified it for summer school, so that's why it's titled that. And I'm just going to click on the left and drag that down to where I want. Now I already have a landing page. And so I'm not going to reinvent it, but I want to use the formatting of the template for my module. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the little Peapod and rename this to Portrait Collage Fall 2020. I like that because then when I copy it later, I know what year it came from. And then the second page, while I'm at it, is going to be the lesson template. So that's going to be like the first page of content. And again, oops. Yep, see, I didn't duplicate it. Let's put that back. And I'm going to duplicate that one. Notice that when you duplicate it, it won't be published if the previous one is published. And I'm going to edit that. And that's going to be my portrait collage unit lesson 1 or day 1 or whatever. I can go back and I also like indenting things, that way I kind of know the sequence. All right, so if I click on this, this is what it looks like. This is the format, the template that we are going to have our students looking for. So it's got the green banner, name, course, unit, overview, understandings, essential questions, and enduring understanding. What are the outcomes? And then kind of an overview of the week or 2 weeks. It doesn't have to be a lot. This doesn't need to be linked to those pages necessarily, but this is something we're probably used to doing in the spring, where we kind of mapped out a student's week just to help them keep on target. And then our grading criteria. And then the idea here is that the student would click next to go into the first day or the first, content for that unit. So presentation outcomes, agenda, resources, and assessments. And then if I click next, it's going to go to my module. So this is the landing page that I had. It's similar. It has a lot of the same things. Yours may have this. It may have very little, which is fine. You can work with whatever you have, or you can start from scratch. So there's a few ways that you could do this. You can, if I go back to my module, you can do a few things. You could type right into that landing page if you want. You can create a new page. So there's another way that you could do this. So I can click on page. Just going to click new page. So I could either copy that directly. So here is my landing page, so that could be a copy of that. I could add, oops, new page. Oh, name. All right, so landing page. So it could be this. And then in order to launch the design tools, I click edit. And you'll see these tools that'll launch up here. I have that set to automatically launch. If you've never used those before, it's going to be Shift Option D on a Mac. We'll bring those up. And then in the little gear, you can set to automatically launch those tools. And so if I'm starting with a blank page, I can go to Edit, Existing Content, Copy Existing Content, and I can select those templates right from there, course pages. So I already have this course page. Here is my landing page. That's my one that I already had. That's not the one I want. This was the one that I copied over. So it could look like that. So you could also copy it from here. Because I already have existing content and I don't want to overwrite that, I'm going to be doing something a little bit differently. So we're going to cancel this. I'm going to go back to our module. And all right, so this is the page that I copied. And so what I'm going to do is just copy content that I have into this. So I'm going to go to here, all right? And it doesn't really matter. I can either work with my existing page and copy the content over to the blank template, copy the blank template into here. I find it's easier to kind of copy my existing content. So I can do it a couple ways. I can just select these things and copy it one at a time, which is a little tedious. You know, sometimes having two tabs open helps. I'm just going to go to the HTML editor. I'm going to select all of this. I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to go back to that page that already exists, and then kind of work within this. So what I'm going to do, click on the HTML for this page. I'm just going to go to the very bottom. I'm going to paste my content and then go back to Rich Content Editor. So now I have this nice clean blank template at the top, and then it starts my content below that. And then what I can do is just delete out the things that I don't need or that I'm modifying. So I'm going to be using a different banner. I can use that same image if I want and just put that up here. Might do that, might not. So portrait collage, past and present is going to be the title. Okay. You know, and you can see here it pastes over in a way that I don't really like. So and then my overview. So I'm just going to delete these as I go. So here's my overview. Select all of that. Cut that out so I know I've copied it over. And then my essential questions here. And it looks like I don't have direct, you know, enduring understandings, but I'm going to use these for now. And you can see, because I have these design tools open, I am getting these kind of blocks of content that I can know that I'm working within. You know, they can feel a little overwhelming at first if you've never used them, but they allow you to do a lot of really great stuff. It also allows you to kind of see under the hood in your formatting. If something's not working the way you want it to, you can kind of figure out what's happening there. There are going to be some other tutorials on like diving into those design tools and how to really utilize them. All right, so then I've got outcomes and products. So I'm going to just copy this content. And then my schedule, which I do have. And so you have to see, like, I might just copy this one day at a time. Pasting the whole thing may or may not work very well. Yeah. You can also, this may seem a little unnecessary for what I'm doing here, that like this is mostly there. And so really I could just be using this green banner at the top and not being as tedious as doing each content block separately. But I just wanted to show you how you can do that. The one thing that you do have to be careful of is if you do have things linking to pages that you are importing and those pages don't exist in the same place, or content doesn't exist in the same place, which is part of why we got rid of those linking out to those pages, that we really want the students to be using the next buttons. All right. Okay, so then that's it. So that's all of this content. So, and then you can also, you may have to fiddle around with deleting everything to make sure it goes away. Another thing that I can do is, knowing where I'm at, go back to right here in the HTML code to know that I've deleted all of that stuff below, which I have. So like I can look at this block for some reason is giant. There we go. All right, so that's mostly there. CC. Leave that blank for now. Okay. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and just save this. And let's say, if I do want to add back that banner so that it looks a little nicer, I'm going to go to Advanced Elements. Nope. I'm going to go to, here's a banner image. You do have to play around with like the sizing. I created some custom banners just so that things don't get squished. There it is. And you can see where that sits just below the green banner, which is what I want. All right, so I'm going to save that again. Yeah. And then I'm going to go to the next page, which is the first day. So if I go to my first day, which started with some texture rubbings that students made that then became the collage materials for their portrait collage. There's my presentation, my objectives, which we've gotten rid of just because it felt kind of clunky. Some exemplars, objective materials, another demo video. So again, this is mostly there. This content would be moved up to the top. There's not as much content here, so that's going to be pretty straightforward. So again, I'm going to go to my HTML code, select all, copy that, and then back out of this page to this one. And I'm going to edit, paste that down at the bottom. And then kind of do the same thing. I'm going to start copying and pasting that content up within the appropriate place in that template. I'm just going to save this for now. All right, let's take a look at the other template pages while we're in here. So we looked at the landing page, we looked at the lesson template, the assignment completion, so having a dedicated page. Here's my portrait collage with the assignment overview and then what they're turning in. And you may have multiples of these throughout a module as they're turning in separate components. Then the next one is a Q&A. So you could have for one module or for 1 week a Q&A that's like, common questions that you already answer at the top, and then there could be a discussion board below that, or there is a discussion board where students can post questions, or you could have them post in progress work, participating critiques, things like that. And then, you could have this maybe at the top of your Canvas course as sort of, and here's the overview for the semester. All right. So that's using those templates, again, from the Commons, importing them into your Canvas course, and then building them out within your modules, using either creating new modules using those templates or using existing content that you had last year. And that could be full-fledged modules you had last year, or that could be one assignment that you had that was a single Canvas page that you're just kind of plugging into this new template so that everything is looking consistent across all of the modules and across all of the students' Canvas courses.